In a previous episode, we met Hunter Lovelace and got to check out his pretty impressive collection of unique and different restored sport ATVs. In this week's episode, we're going to see his prized possession, his Honda 250R.
Whenever I buy anything, or like whenever I look at anything that I want to restore, you have to look for like the potential as what you can make out of it. I got an 86 TRX250R and I started restoring that because I just seen so many different possibilities as to what I could make something.
This was your first build?
It was my first build, 100%.
Go through for me what you did to it and what it's built from now. What is it? What did you do and how did it start, I guess?
Yeah, so it started out as just basically a used and abused 1986 TRX250R. I bought it out of Michigan, actually. When we got it, it was a running machine that I was still young at the time, so I was still able to just kind of ride around on it, but then having the passion for all like the custom stuff and just the one-off builds, I wanted to do something special with it. Powder coated the frame, and then basically the search started for all the cool one-off trick parts for it. The extended A-arms, suspension, just all the cool parts that everybody likes to see, especially on a 250R, because the aftermarket support still to this day is insane for a TRX 250R. That's where it started with, though, and
so in terms of being stock, like the swing arms changed, the A-arms are changed. What is stock? It looks like the foot pegs are stock.
The motor is fairly stock. Okay. Being that I built it at a younger age, I really didn't go too crazy in the power department. Kind of just we redid the top end. I mean, it's all stock porting, stock stroke. It's all mild that way. But as far as everything else goes, it's pretty custom.
Yeah,
I mean,
it looks beautiful.
Yeah, it rides amazing too. I mean, the suspension works really, really well on it.
I'm looking at this motor. This motor looks brand new. So you must have had the cases powder coated as well?
Yeah, actually, believe it or not, the bottom end actually is untouched. So
this hasn't been done anything?
So what the bottom end, the bearings, the crank, everything was still all together. When we had it apart, I taped off every single bolt, and I actually painted that motor.
Seriously?
With an engine enamel, yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Taped off every bolt, didn't take it apart?
No.
Holy
So
crap,
all those bolts, they have never been apart. I was able to find a paint that was very, very close to the 86, the color that was required on that motor.
Nice job.
Yeah. So
I would never, not in a million years would I have guessed that you would say that.
Yeah,
that's wild.
That's what I did there. Just because there was no need to pull it apart. Like the bottom end was in amazing shape.
Suspension-wise, what have you got for shocks?
So it's got +2 Jansen A-arms with Works suspension on it. They were the shock company to go with back in the day.
Yep.
I mean, to be completely honest, they don't work anywhere near like the standards of today's suspension companies. That's what a lot of racers used back in the day. So I
remember looking through dirt wheels and seeing the ads for Works suspension.
Oh yeah, Works suspension was it. So I found those and I restored those. I had all new internals put in them. Springs were powder coated because they're a triple rate spring.
Oh yeah, look at that.
So it's each one of those is a different spring, starting from the black, white, and blue. So I powder coated them, and then out back I put an Elka dual rates shock in the back.
Okay.
And that actually made a world of a difference.
Like you did a frame up.
I did a frame up, like right down to like welding gussets into the frame.
Okay.
To strengthen the frame.
Did you have some of the parts before you started the build, or did you do the frame and then build it up as you collected parts?
Basically builded it up as I collected parts. Honestly, when I built this back in probably about 2014-ish, parts were a lot easier to find
than they are now. If you could change anything, what would you change?
There's a few things I would change.
Yeah.
Looking back at it now with the experience I've had with restoring stuff, there is a few things that I would change, but honestly, there's nothing that I can't change easy enough. Like the whole appeal, the color scheme, everything, I still like it. Being that we rebuilt the motor, I do kind of wish we put a big bore in it. Like I wish I put like a 330 cylinder or something in it. But again, that's easy enough to do.
Sure.
Like I can easy enough get back in there and do it. So
if you can look back, how many years ago was that? 2014, so we're looking at...
About 10 years, close to 10 years ago.
Close to 10 years ago.
Yeah.
You can look back on a build you did 10 years ago and say, you know what, I wouldn't change a lot. That was a really good build.
Yeah.
So tell me about what this bike means to you.
Means a lot to me. It's like this thing will go to the grave with me for sure. It's never ever for sale. Just all the hours that I put into building it and the passion that it got me into. It means a lot to me. It means more to me than any other machine.
I think the coolest thing about it is this is what ignited the passion in you to keep going, and then look where it's ended up, right? And
yeah, and it's not stopping. That's the problem. I don't see it stopping anytime soon.
Well, thanks for the tour of this bike. That was really interesting, and it's something I know our viewers are going to just go crazy for, because here in Canada, as you found out when you tried to find one, there's just not a lot of them here.
No,
and
there's
so
not.
being able to see one up close in person, one that's been very, very nicely restored / modified, is something that a lot of Canadians don't get to see. All the iconic quads in the world, this would be #1 on the list.
Yes.
Okay. Well, listen, thanks, man. That was a really, really interesting walk around of this vehicle, and we've got more coming from you in the future.
Yes.
So this isn't the last one.
We got lots of stuff.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, it's going to be good. Appreciate it, and we'll catch up with you on the next one.
Absolutely.
Thanks, man.